Thank you for joining me today on Diplomacy and Business. Today we have our special guest, Ms. Simone Williams from Williams Global Law. And we're now going to hear a bit more about global immigration in the area of business, with business visas, because the U.S. actually encourages some types of visas. So let us hear more about the EB-5 and other programs that encourage business investments.
Right. So I know there's a lot of issues with immigration that we hear, but the U.S. is still open for business. The U.S. encourages business owners from anywhere, really, who are investing in the U.S. and creating jobs. There's one such program called the EB-5 Immigrant Investment Program that allows foreign entrepreneurs to invest. The minimum requirement is quite high. It's $900,000.
I thought it was 500,000.
It used to be 500,000, and as of November 21st of last year, it was increased to
almost doubled.
Yes, I
know.
know.
Wow.
So a lot of people were trying to file before that deadline.
Yes.
But it allows a direct path to get your green card. And it covers both the principal applicant and the spouse and the children.
I see.
To be able to get the green card and also to invest in the United States. And it is a job creation program for the U.S. company and project. And the per investment, the jobs created has to be at least 10 jobs for American workers. So it's a job creation program and it's an investment program. It's a high net worth investor, of course, who could afford to invest that amount of funds, but that is an investment opportunity for an entrepreneur.
And do you create your own business ideas for the investment in the United States, or are you directed to particular areas and programs that the U.S. wants to encourage investments in? So
those EB-5 projects, they're so-called EB-5 projects that have been approved by the U.S. government, called the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS. So they've been designated to accept this type of money. It's an investment, so there's all sorts of rules and regulations to be able to accept foreign money for an investment, in other words. But so there are projects, and somebody like me, if they were to come to me, I could explain to them the process. I have projects that I could, I'm not promoting projects. Yeah,
you have ready-made investment opportunities.
There's a lot of investment. There has to be at least over 700 in the U.S. With this EB-5 projects that are ongoing. So there's a lot.
And it's all over the United States or particular places?
It's all over the United States, but a lot
you
of
don't have to go rural.
It could be. I mean, there are requirements and regulations in terms of the definition of these projects. So there could be in rural areas. They could be in certain areas called targeted employment areas, which is part of the requirements. But that being said, to navigate the process, you definitely need an attorney to help you to figure out and to provide you with the information that you can figure what investment works for you and why.
Give me some ideas of the areas that are open for the EB-5 program.
So a lot of the projects involve real estate development projects because they are creating a lot of jobs and the development capital is quite high. I mean, in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So the EB-5 investor represents just a tiny portion of the entire development cost. So they come in, and so there's a lot. There's there's creditors, there's debt, and they're sometimes coming in as equity or debt. But most of these projects are well-known developers. I mean, you want to invest in a project that has a good track record and has a well-known developer involved sometimes.
So in that case, you'd come in as an investor in a development project?
Yes, correct.
Okay, you'll not be doing the construction and development yourself?
No, you're not doing any of that. You're not doing anything. But if you were, for instance, wanting to do something from scratch, you can.
Yes.
But it's a lot of work to have a successful business, never mind constructing a business, a building or a real estate project. But you don't have to do that. This is, you're coming in as a limited partner where, all of that is taken care of for you.
So there are basically at least two options. You can, if you're a successful engineer and you have set up a sort of engineering business in your home country, and for whatever reason you have decided to leave, you have the choice to look at creating a business from scratch in the field that you're already experienced in. with a minimum of 900,000 startup investment and employing at least 10 persons. So you have that as one way, but you can, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up. So there are other investment visas. Not all of them require this $900,000 investment. I don't want to scare off people who, the scenario that you mentioned, had an existing business in their home country. So there is a visa called the L1 visa.
Yes.
If you have an existing business in your home country and want to expand operations into the U.S., create an office and bring individuals, bring yourself and manage a business. It doesn't have any mandatory investment.
I see.
But you do have to create jobs. You have to show a business plan that you're going to hire individuals in the job. You have to, there has to be a business plan associated with it, but there isn't any minimum investment for that.
Oh, really?
You have to show that you've been in a business outside of the U.S. for at least 1 year and working in that business.
And this is an expansion in the U.S.
Yes.
And also you will be looking to become a U.S. resident.
Yes, you could. You would get a temporary residency, and then after a certain period of time, you could apply for a U.S. permanent residency via, AKA a green card.
And the same thing with you and your family.
Correct.
And that's the L1 visa.
That's the L1 visa.
I see.
Correct. And another one is it's called the E2 visa, which is only for individuals of certain from certain countries that have a treaty with the United States. And in fact, Jamaican citizens have an E2 treaty with the U.S. So they qualify for this, just to let you know. I mean, there's only 3 Caribbean countries that qualify.
Well, we'll be right back to hear more about immigration possibilities here in the United States. Welcome back to the Diplomacy and Business Show. My special guest today is Simone Williams, and we are speaking about international immigration policies and opportunities.
Right.
And you have just told me about the E2 program, which is a treaty program between countries, and Jamaica has a treaty with the United States. So citizens of Jamaica can look at doing business and becoming citizens if they wish under the E2
Well,
program.
they actually can't become citizens. It's only temporary status.
It's a temporary.
Yeah, but you get it for 5 years, and you can renew it indefinitely.
I see.
And the difference with the E2 and the L1, in the L1, you have to have had an established business in your foreign country, and you're coming in because you've proven that you've worked in this established business for
Yeah.
at least 1 year or managed
Yeah.
the established business. For the E2, you don't have to have an existing business.
I
You
see.
could literally just come into the U.S. if you're investing.
Yeah.
There's no mandatory investment, but normally it's at least 100K or more in an existing business or creating your own
And with
business.
the E5, that is when you are going to invest at minimum 900,000
and you're
a
getting
direct pass to
green card.
citizenship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eventually citizenship.
Yes, yes.
The E2, unfortunately, is not a direct path to citizenship eventually.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just temporary for 5 years. Some of my clients like the E2 because when you become a green card holder, you're subject to U.S. taxation on a worldwide basis.
Yes.
And some individuals, for whatever reason, may not want to be subject to worldwide taxation. So they like to remain not a green card holder, a U.S. citizen. So that's...
Yes. Well, this has been very interesting, Simone. So many people don't know about all these changes going on in the immigration policies and also don't know about various other immigration programs. So I'm very happy to hear what you had to share today. And again, my commendations on your entrepreneurial journey and becoming an international attorney. And especially at this time when we celebrate International Women's Day, it's our pleasure to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today on Diplomacy and Business. As usual, it was a pleasure sharing time with you, and I look forward to you joining us next week. Same time, 1 o'clock, ABC 7.